Hi there everyone, welcome. I'm Mickey. I'm founder of Active Pada. I've been practicing yoga for nearly 30 years now, yoga and macrobiotics, and I've been teaching yoga now for the last 5 years. And in those 5 years, I have seen now, well, let's just fast forward to where we are now. I probably teach hundreds of people yoga a week, a month, depending on my schedule, and I generally see the same things over and over and over again. About 80% of the room are doing the same things incorrectly, if you like. And by that I mean that they're not getting the most, they're not optimizing the asana. And a lot of that, again, 80% of, is not because they're not flexible enough or not strong enough or not fit enough. It's because they don't have the right technique, and no one's ever showed them the technique. Because when you're in a big yoga class, a big group yoga class, a public class, and sometimes there's 30 to 40 people in that class, the teacher, it's not really traditionally correct, if you like, this is the way it's taught in India, for the teacher to stop the flow of the class to correct individual students. That's not normally how it's done in a big flow class. But the result of that means that for the people who are practicing in that class, they are simply just trying to keep up, trying to follow along and make the shapes that the teacher's either making or the person next to them is making, or the person in front of them who looks like they know what they're doing is doing. And what happens with that is that you can get some very bad habits. Those habits, those what I call defaults, you just lock into the same position over and over and over again, can be there for years. Just like, say, you're learning to drive and you pick up bad habits when you're learning to drive, and you end up, those bad habits stick with you for years until someone actually says, you know what, you're not doing that properly. And for me, that's really how I teach yoga, even when it isn't a big public class, without necessarily stopping the flow. But I don't teach fast classes because I don't necessarily see the point. And also, again, for about 80% of the room, if you haven't mastered the actual technique and the asana, what it is, why you're doing it, and how to do it, then what is the point of doing all that and just doing it faster? That's my opinion, and that's my approach to yoga. And that approach seems to resonate with a lot of people, because a lot of people find that they really benefit from the way that I'm teaching them, even when they're in big group classes. So what we're going to look at today in this video is some of what are fundamental positions and how to get those right before you even really get off the starting blocks, as I call it. And also, as you get older, so this is for my slightly older viewers that are more like me, you want to really learn how to engage your big muscles, because as you get older, I was reading this the other day, that over the age of 40, that's when your muscles start to waste. And it's very hard when you get older to build muscles. So for that, if you want to build muscles and you want to become strong and you're over the age of 40, come to one of my classes. And secondly, I recommend, and again, this is just a big sweeping recommendation, to use protein powders. In some of the very, very good quality protein powders that you can get now, they're full of natural vitamins and minerals, so it gives you a real boost, and they're also very high protein. And that is what you need when you get older to build those muscles. That's what you need. And again, that's my observation, that's my experience, and that's why I'm sharing it with you. Like all these things. that, like all the things that we're doing here. So what we're going to start with today is we're going to start in tabletop, and we're going to work around the plank position. Panic, mass people coming up, deleting and diving off and going back to their chair. The reason why we're going to do that is because we're going to make it quite short and succinct so that you can practice it over and over again. And also because it's a great way of building that strength, and the view and the way to get in and out of plank without damaging or weakening your lower back. So let's look at that first. Then we're going to do a sequence, which is one of my really core strength building sequence, which is around the asana navasana, boat posture. So let's all now get on our mats and look at plank. So here we are. Here's a mat. Here's a mat. Here's a mat I prepared earlier. Here we are. Here's a mat I prepared earlier, and here's a brick that I might show you how to use in a minute. But we're not. So we're going to use the brick for sitting. So in tabletop, again, this is what I see a lot. See the shape there in my back? That is not tabletop. That is just really nothing, really. The core muscles here are just hanging out. There's no engagement there. And actually, my back is in a weak position. And I'm dumping weight down in my wrists. My knees, my bum, my tail sort of sticking out in that way. You can see that my hips and my knees are not really lined up. So let's fix that for starters by bringing the knees underneath the hips, by drawing that navel in, so I go from that to that, making the back look in more of a shape of a tabletop, that my shoulders, elbows and wrists are lined up. My head, I'm looking down at the mat, I'm looking down at the mat so that the back of my neck, I'm remembering that my neck is part of my spine. It's part of my spine. So I want that neck to be long so that the line from that tailbone, my pelvis is in neutral, snaking up the spine, the back of the neck and out the top of the head is one straight line. My index fingers are pointing to 12 o'clock. So I'm spreading the fingers like this on the mat, but what I'm not doing is I'm not pushing and dumping down into the back of my wrists. I'm being light and lifted up. Always think of your yoga practice as being light and not heavy. So knees underneath the hips, shoulders, elbows and wrists lined up, long back of the neck. From here, we're going to extend back the right leg. Tuck the toes under and just push through that back heel. So what I see a lot is this, when you step that back. See how the knee's bent? Straighten that knee by pushing back on the heel rather than pushing back on the back of the knee. So you're not locking the knee, pushing back of the heel. And when you do that, you'll feel a nice juicy stretch up the back of the calf, and you'll feel this thigh muscle, one of your biggest muscles, is suddenly sort of started to switch on. By that I mean you go, oh, whoa, what's happening there? Extend your left arm forward, rotate the whole arm so the palm is facing inwards. The neck is still long. I'm still keeping that nice long lower back. I haven't gone into this kind of shape. Still this, still high, and then I can lift that off, that foot off. So you can see that there's one line of energy. You're still looking down, I'm just looking at you. There's one line of energy snaking from that heel up the back of the leg. So when the leg's up, just because you've lifted the leg up, keep that leg engaged, keep that leg alert, if you like. The hips are facing the floor, so the leg isn't in this position where the kneecap is facing side. The knee is also facing the floor, the palms facing inwards. That already should feel like you're doing a lot. Yeah, that should already, if you feel like you're not really doing anything, you haven't drawn the navel in, to lengthen the lower back. You're not pushing through that heel where all these big muscles, nice glute muscles, thigh muscles. Inhale there. And when you exhale, you bring the forehead, the elbow and the knee together, and then extend on the inhale. Pushing back in the heel, extending through the fingers. Exhale, 2. Extend, 3. Extend, 4 on the exhale. Extend, 5. Extend and hold. Put that hand down. Lift that leg up a little bit higher, but keep the sole of the foot facing the back of the mat. Lift it a little bit higher, lift it a little bit higher, lift it a little bit higher. You'll feel that the muscles are really starting to work now, and then bring it down. Let's go to the other side. Left foot back, toes tucked under, pushing through the heel on that left leg, waking up the calf and the thigh, and extending the right arm forward. Lifting that left leg up, drawing the navel in, inhale at the top, exhale, forehead, elbow, knee. Inhale, extend, exhale, forehead, elbow, knee. Inhale, extend, nice and long, crunch it tight, long, crunch, long, crunch, long and hold, pushing through the heel, lifting up the arm, put the arm down, lift the leg higher, lift it higher, lift it higher. Try not to collapse into this. Stay in that nice, alert tabletop, and then exhale the heel down. So already you've started working those muscles. Already you're using these muscles. So if you want to burn calories, get fit, shape up, you've got to start using these muscles. You'll be doing this all day and you're hardly burning any calories. Really, you're not using much muscles. These muscles are small compared to these. So these are the ones you want to work. This is what we want to get done. So from here, we're going to do cat and cow. Inhale, turn the tailbone up, look forward, draw the chest through. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, exhale, tabletop. Extend the right leg back again. Extend the left leg back, and now you're in plank. So again, what you don't want to be doing is hanging out, really putting loads of pressure on the wrists and the hands. Push back through the heels again so that you really power up those legs. So, and making sure that the bum's not in this position, it's not above the shoulders, it's below the shoulders. Bring the left hand to the center of the mat and either come to side plank like this, or if you're new, left knee down, rotate the shin out, extend, and that's half side plank. So this position is better than this kind of position, or this kind of wobbling around all over the place like this, or thinking, oh, you're better off doing this, getting the fundamentals right, and then you'll be able to get to this. Inhale there, exhale, come through center, go to the other side. So it's right hand center, right knee down, rotate and twist. Again, this is better than this kind of banana shape where you've really let go of any engagement. If you're in the full posture, you want to be nice and high up here. Breathe. 1, 2, 3, 4, and on 5 we're going to come back to center, back to tabletop, tuck the toes under and sit back on the heels, toe squat. So you started using all those muscles. Yeah, you can feel that. So from here, we're going to circle around into Navasana, another fantastic core muscle sequence. And I teach this sequence in nearly all of my classes because strengthening up the core, I'm out of breath, do you hear that? Strengthening up the core helps us to support this better posture, this better way. When this is weak, This tends to be more of our posture position. We want to be sitting more like this, don't we? Yeah, where the back is nice and long and where we don't have this, it's not just physically, but energetically, this kind of slouched out vibe. We want to be up, engaging with the world, looking around and engaging the world. So, Navasana. So, Navasana, again, I'm going to show you what you don't want to be doing in Navasana, and that's that, where you're sitting on your lower back, or even that, or you're like this. Ugh. Take your hands to the back of the thighs and draw the ribs towards the thighs. Then sit up and extend the legs up. What you want to do to try to practice your Navasana is get the space between the ribs and the thighs, reduce that space rather than because you can see there, sit up there, extend the right leg, point the right foot. Again, you're using those muscles. Left, both. And then if you want to let go, you can, keeping that space between the thighs. Inhale there, and then we're going to lower down, nice and slow. Point the feet so that you really have those thigh muscles switched on. Look at the ceiling. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Squeeze the knees towards the ribs. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're going to speed that up. We're going to do 3 first. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Now we're going to speed it up. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, and hold. So going forward, while you're practicing that, you can do that as many times as you want. You can do that on your own every day, and you'll soon see the difference in your strength. Open up the legs, hands inside. Inhale, exhale, twist right. Center, left, center, right, center, left, center, right, center, left, center, right, center, and hold. Wrap the index finger and the middle finger around the big toes and straighten the legs. Again, doing this and talking is, that's why I'm out of breath, looking forward, then you can let go, then you can cross your ankles and come to sit up. So already when you've just came to sit up, you're already in this lovely upright position. That are 2 very simple but very important things to get right. So if I were you, you could practice those every day. You could practice that every day, literally, and it would be 10 minutes out of your day. So let's just finish with a short sequence of twisting. So sitting up again, that lovely, now you're ready to sit up. Left hand, shins in front, right hand on that left shin, the arm is straight at this point. Bending that right arm and twisting around to the left, and bring the fingers to the floor behind you. But when you bring the fingers to the floor, try not to have the fingers out there, because look, you want to have the fingers in nice and close so you stay sitting up. 1. Inhale, exhale. 2, 3, 4, and on 5, we're going to come through center, twist all the way around, back to center, change the cross of your legs. So this time it's the left arm. So you start with that left arm straight, then you bend the left arm and you're twisting round to the right. Fingertips just right there so that it keeps you sitting up. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then on 5, come through center. Knees up, rolling down. Bring the knees into the chest, bring the forehead into the knees, a nice squeeze. Put the head down, roll the knees over to the floor on the right side, turning the head and looking to the left. 5 breaths. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then on 5, let's go to the left, straight over. 1, looking to the right. 2, 3, 4, 5, and then back to center. Straightening those legs up in the middle. Last little bit of core engagement. So when you're straightening the legs, it's an L shape. Don't bring the legs in towards the face of the lower. Look what's happening here is rolled off the floor. Move the legs away so the back is nice and flat on the floor. And you can either stay here for 3 minutes. Stay here for 3 minutes. Again, when you're practicing this again and it becomes part of your daily routine. And then we're going to lower the legs down to count to 10. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And you're in Shavasana. Inhaling deeply through the nose and exhale through the mouth. Inhaling deeply through the nose, exhale through the mouth. Staying there for 5 breaths while I just finish off this little lesson. So you're staying in Shavasana, just gently closing down the eyes, and just use this couple of minutes at the end for a gentle observation of where you are now. Just an observation. That what is literally going to take you 5 to 10 minutes every day is a realistic way of strengthening your core and getting your using your big muscles, getting your. If you do that every day for 2 weeks, you will see a massive improvement in your posture, that's sitting up, because as you felt there, as soon as you come to sit up, you're already feeling more aligned, lighter, and it will just help you get into your body. So when you're doing a daily routine and you want to fit it into your home practice, set yourself a realistic and what I consider to be a realistic and not that big of a challenge, rather than saying, okay, I'm going to do yoga at home for an hour a day, because you might do it a couple of times and then something will happen and then it'll be this and then it'll be that, and then you'll fall out of the routine and you'll be thinking to yourself, I haven't got the time. So find something, these little bite-sized sequences that you actually have got the time for, that just involves setting your alarm for 15 minutes earlier in the day or at night. I mean, I always recommend doing exercises in the morning because it really gets you going, it really gets you moving, and it's easier to just get up a bit earlier in the morning than after a day at home. You've got to go, oh God, I've got to get the mat out. And sometimes that can be quite a big challenge. I'm just being realistic, you know, we've all been there. So let's all come to sit up together. So slowly coming up to sit. Let's just take a moment sitting, tuning into that, how you feel now. Hari Om. Have a wonderful day. Thank you for joining me. Please spend some time subscribing to my channel. Click the notification bell, click the notification bell, and catch up with me on the mat somewhere very, very soon.